Okay, greetings everyone. This is Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. I want to welcome you to my channel, all my subscribers, scallywags, lovers, haters, commenters,
We need to
each one
damage,
of you. I
damage
want to welcome you to my
mind.
channel.
We need damage
You know, I was coming
mind.
back for tennis and I stopped. This guy jumped on the back
Very
of my
damage
bike
mind.
and asked me to give him a ride. So I gave him a ride. He asked for money, I gave him money. And now he's got, so what is your name?
My name is Samuel Umali.
How
And
old?
damage mind also.
Damage mind?
Damage mind because I got Gerald.
Oh, okay. How old are you?
I'm 42 years old.
42? Are you married?
No, I'm just a gay.
Are you gay?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gay. You should have told me that before I let you on the back of my bike.
No, and that damage my mind also. It's a very thinking my mind is very empty.
Your mind is very empty.
Yeah, you're thinking my mind is very empty. The anxiety to my present in Christ. I think that's it.
Oh, okay. So where are you going? I gave you 100 pesos. You gonna take a tricycle?
Yeah, I think that.
You thank God?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is my new friend, I guess. You know, he seemed to be like my Siamese twin right now. The trick is for me to, you know, my bike can go.
Damage my mind.
Who damage your mind?
I'm thinking of it.
I'm thinking of what?
Of that penis of that boy, of that faces of friends.
Oh, really? You have brother, sister?
No.
How many brothers?
Faces of friends also. Many faces of friends.
Have many friends?
Friends of mine. Faces of friends.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to go and this is Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. I'll add some more content to this and I'll be right back. Say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Okay, as you can see, there's never a dull moment in the Philippines. I put that piece in there. I happened to me yesterday that a guy jumped onto my bike when I stopped to put on my helmet. I passed him, you know, sometimes me and I be driving, and you know, you don't see a lot of people here in the Philippines with mental issues. But every now and then you do. And if it's an old woman, I said, Mia, look, there's your grandmother. Or if it's a guy who you can tell has mental issues, I said, Mia, there's your brother. So one of those type of things. And so we get a little small laugh at the expense of. So let that be said. You know, but anyway, when I stopped my bike and he jumped on it and said, go, like that. So I drove him in, you know. I stopped at the store that I always stopped at where Jan's working at. I told you about her once before. And I said, Jan, you know, get your brother off my bike. And she laughed. That's not my brother. It's okay. I'm just having fun. Well, welcome back. I want to talk about a couple of things. You know, sometimes when we talk about how foreigners act here in the Philippines, and a perfect example of that is what happened when we went to Mercury Drugs. I told you once before that Mercury Drugs is like the CBS around here. You know, they got a chain of them. Whenever you need medication or whatever like this, or a prescription fill, that's where you go to Mercury Drugs. And you know, it's like any place you pull into a parking stall like this. And I was planning on leaving it there and walk around the corner and buy vegetables. So when I came out of Mercury Drugs, there was a white van parked behind, you know, going against, going against, you know, the way it's supposed to go. Because with his van parked there, he was blocking in two cars. He was blocking my car and he was blocking, you know, the other person's car. Now, after coming inside, I know it's a lot of people in it. It's very slow, you know, one of these type of things. When I say slow, I'm not talking about the workers. The girls do a terrific job of fulfilling prescriptions or what have you. So anyway, when I came out, me and I walked to buy vegetables, and then we heard all this commotion. So, you know, immediately I'm grabbing for my phone. I'm saying, oh, this is my Facebook moment. You know, I'm ready to do something. And it was these Filipinos yelling at this foreigner, because it was this white foreigner who pulled this van behind my car into the car next to mine, preventing us from leaving when we wanted to leave. and people are standing outside, and they're cursing like, "You who?" You know, I couldn't understand what they were saying naturally, but I can tell that they were very upset. And so finally, the foreigner came out the store, and he was getting his car, and they were like yelling at him, hey, like this, and I couldn't hear. I'm trying to capture this this moment, which I didn't. But anyway, he walked in, he got in his car and took off. And then right then, my standing there, it was like they turned and looked at me. And when they turned and looked at me, it was the first time in my life that I didn't feel like, oh, there's a black man. I felt like, oh, there's another foreigner, And I thought all the anger was going to turn and come at me. And immediately I had these images in my head, or being in one of the Arab countries, where they're not targeting the person who caused the problem. They're targeting the person because you are tribal with that person. And one big guy turned to me and said, yeah, who you think he is? And I'm like, oh my God, who the flock you think he is? But I started backing away very slowly. But then, it was that instant and that moment where I saw the transfer of anger that was directed at someone else being redirected at me. And I was like, oh, wow. And it just goes to show you that things can change in a New York minute. Now, the video I had yesterday about a white boy who was talking about how they don't like foreigners in this country. Well, that could be, that could be understandable because, a lot of foreigners walk around with this air of, I'm here in your country. I'm not going to speak your language. You speak my language. You know what I'm saying? You are the foreigner. And they have that type of attitude toward Filipinos. And, I can see, one time, I was walking or something like this, and I was doing a video, and this guy passed by, and he said something in his language, and I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't until I got home and I was watching with Mia. I said, Mia, what did he say? He said something like, "You stupid foreigner." I said, "Oh, wow." I said, "What?" I said, "Oh." And there was one other time, I'm going to tell you this one, I'm going to go on something else. I was driving my van, and this scooter, and this older man and his wife, I guess so, they were about the same age on this side. And I looked and I saw them like this, and I'm going forward. Next thing I know, and I didn't see them, So, I'm getting ready to merge in this lane, and I looked, and there he was. He was on this side of me, and I had to avoid, hitting him because he was moved and ducked on this side. And he said, "Ooh, if you hit me, ooh." I mean, it was like, "Oh, if you hit me, ooh." and it was like, wow, it was like, I said, I'm sorry. I'm learning how to drive in your country. And, his wife was on the back of the bike, like going, that's him. There he is. He's going up again on something else. But, it's interesting. And, sometimes when I ride with people, like we were coming back from the wedding, and I was riding, with me, and I got a ride, and we're driving, it's such a typical American, a foreigner, to be driving and having all this conversation directed to someone else in another car. Oh no, you're not getting in here. Oh no, who do you think you are? No, you think I'm waiting online to let you in like this? And I'm like, my God, my man, take a chill pill. It's okay. That's why when I drive, and I tell everybody who's learning to drive, or someone who's driving, I said to avoid having rear end collisions, always make sure that you can see the tire in front of you vehicle on the ground. As long as you can see the tires of the other vehicle in front of you on the ground, you'll never have a rear end collision. And that's one type of accident you want to always avoid, the rear end, because if you had a rear end, it's your fault because you're driving too close. So if you always see the car's tire on the ground, then you won't have a rear end collision. That being said, that also leaves space in front in case. And also, if you're driving and a car in front of you stalls, and then the other car in front of you is behind you in traffic, you have no room to maneuver and get out. So you always want to make sure you have an escape plan in case they jump out with AK-47s. You can woo, like they do in the movies and get around it. But anyway, I was talking with a friend of mine. His name is Gerald. Here he is. I put a picture here. Him and I go back, and go back. We go back to my magazine days in New York. Him being a promoter, manager, and things of that nature. And he sends me a lot of stuff in the morning from TikTok because he's also in the medical profession. And he was talking about how in the United States, how he sees a lot of Filipinos and how a lot of them are nurses. And he's so much into the Filipino culture. I'm hoping one day he'll visit. But, I know from my own experience, in the States that there are a lot of Filipinos working in the medical profession. I always tell every young person, that, look, if you don't know what to do with your life and you don't know what you want to be, do something in the medical profession. I don't care if you become a nurse's assistant. I don't care if you become a healthcare worker. I don't care if you want to become, healthcare provider. Anything. Do something in the health field, because in the health field, you can find work all over the world. And a secure, high-paying job. So those of you who are listening out there who don't know what to do with your life, go into the medical field. So we were talking about, how there are a lot of Filipinos and all this stuff in the medical field. Yeah. And then we started talking about, the difference between American women or he has a friend who went to his friends couldn't understand why blacks are going toward Filipino women. How they are. And I told them, I said, look what happened to Major. Over the time when blacks become very successful, and this from sports or in the entertainment industry, they often want to gravitate toward white women. Because they feel that, I remember we used to have this saying, back in the day, the only thing a white man can give me is his woman in a tight pair of shoes. That was the slogan. Those of you who are old enough to know that slogan, that you remember that slogan. But for some, it's some form of trophy to have a beautiful, gorgeous supermodel on your arm, and whether it's a Kardashian or rather it's whoever it might be, or Melania or whatever, hey, like this, and often the time it doesn't work out well. It doesn't work out well. And just like I was telling him about the brother who was with Calvin and I, and saying, it was all good when when the three of us are together. But Calvin had a situation, I think yesterday or something like this, with the dude, and it didn't end well. Calvin was very disappointed because when he got home and Calvin went to visit him, Calvin felt that he was shitted on. He wasn't allowed to come in. And not because of him, but because of the other foreigners who were in there. Because of their, I don't know, I'm only speculating. I can't call it, only because of their mentality. I'm going to say this toward blacks. It put pressure on him to where say, no, like Calvin, no, this is not the right time because whatever. And Calvin was hurt. because Calvin said, wow, like you talk a good game, but when you get around your people, when you come tribal, well then you tend to go with the tribe. And it's unfortunate because Calvin was let a little disappointed. You know, he was disappointed. And so we talked about what like I told him, look, I said, here in the Philippines, I don't have to worry about things that I would normally worry in the United States. Whether it be crime or whether it be traffic or whether it be, the pressures, the paranoia, the crossing the street because someone sees you coming and all this stuff and all these little things that let you know that you are, are, being, you are, feared. You're feared. When there's no need to be. And so I said, here in the Philippines, when you get with a Filipino woman, it's not like that. Here in the Philippines, it's not like that. I know I'm jumping all over the place because there's a lot of images. There's a lot of things I want to say that are just coming through my head, and you don't have the pressure like you do in the States in a relationship, because in a relationship in the States, you are competing. You are competing against each other. You are competing about being a breadwinner. You are competing, about things that you shouldn't have to compete for, against, or prove, or show. It's like, what are you bringing to the table? Here in the Philippines, there's no, what are you bringing to the table? In the Philippines, you know why you got her. You know why you want her. You want to have a life that's free. You want to have a woman who is easy on the eyes. You want to have a woman that's not going to say no to you. You want a woman who's going to cater to your every need, to your every whim. That's what you want from a Filipino. It was funny. It was yesterday or something like this. Me and I were doing our just don't say no type of thing, and she started. Oh, can we talk? Oh, what happened? Oh, but you would say, like this, and I'm not going into details. You have to figure it out. Those of you who are smart enough to figure it out. So, I stopped her, and we were driving, and I said, "Look, have I ever given you a reason not to trust me? Had I ever given you a huge block of time when my presence was not accounted for? Are you not able to look at my cell phone anytime you want to? So how can you start accusing me of things that are not there?" I said, we have to nip this in the bud. I don't know if it's because of someone else's relationship. You think this is what's happening in ours, or I don't know if maybe it's pregnancy, hormones, or something like this, and you think and I keep talking about your fat ass. That I said I can't wait till you get back to your fighting weight. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that this has to stop. You cannot start thinking the worst about me, when there's no need to think the worst about me. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Because you know what they say? Oh, you accuse me so much, so because I'm always being accused of, I might as well do it. That's always a cop out. But I'm not gonna let it happen here. You know, I call it as I see it. I call it out, and I find the right appropriate time to speak on it, which is important. Okay, you're watching Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elder. Always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see a vision. And you know what I told her? I said, look, I told you I chose you. I don't want nobody else. I'm not looking for nobody else. I'm not desiring nobody else. I chose you. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, former lead singer of the Temptation One song, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king and never say no. Okay? And sometimes you're the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. I'm living good today. Hope you are too. Okay, with that being said, may you live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I will never know that nice people like you have gone away. I'll always love you more. Love you like a love song, baby. I'll talk to you later. Peace.